Hey guys, unit, welcome to another video. It's been a while since I posted a video talking to you guys straight up about GTA 5. I'm keeping you guys updated on what's going on in the present time because a lot of things have changed over the course of the year. And of course, throughout 1.5 years of this game being out, a lot of people have learned a lot of stuff to do with the game and racing and stuff. I've personally learned a lot just from constantly playing this game, and there's so many things to talk about. But where to start? First of all, let's talk about the main thing here. I've changed my paint job of the car, you know. I've gone from the Torino red, metallic, ice white pearlescent to matte black Mamba, as that's what this track is based on as well. Inspired by the paint job. I personally feel quicker with this car, man. I'm telling you. Something psychological really kicked in, you know. I think it's to do with change, because when you constantly keep something the same throughout the entire length, you know, let's talk about a whole year, right? It can get a bit boring and you seem to become a little bit lazy. But when you see change, right, when you see change just to do with tracks or anything, you seem to pay a little bit more attention because you seem to be interested. I don't know if it's a psychological thing. For those of you that are a little bit experienced on that side of thing, let me know in the comments, you know, enlighten me, people, because that's just the way I see it. But hey, don't worry, it's not any sort of performance tweak. I'm just being like all psychological right here, man. But that's not the main thing I wanted to cover. First of all, we know Heist is coming around the corner, right? But it's taken them 1.5 years. And that in itself, I want to question you guys. Are you guys still feeling the same excitement as you had when the game first came out, when they announced Heist back then? You know, I personally was extremely excited back then, but now I'm like, you know, I'm going to give it a go. If it's fun, I'll keep trying it time to time whenever I'm exhausted from racing. You know, but is it going to give you that same excitement, you know, as it would have had when it first came out, when the game first came out, you know what I mean? So, like, it's difficult because I feel like they've spent way too much time on this, where they could have, you know, spent time on other content which would have actually made a bigger impact. It might have, you know, it's one of those speculative things, you know. I'm not sure if they scrapped those ideas for Heists, or I don't know if they're working on those ideas at the same time with Heist, because, you know, Rockstar don't seem to give out those information. You know, they seem to be extremely discreet about that. But what I am curious is that, you know, I want to see what they have planned after Heist. You know what I mean? That's something that I really want to find out about, you know, because that curiosity requires satisfaction, people. Because Heist, fair enough. When that gets out the way after a few months of release, I want to know what's next. I want to know if they're going to bring in a bunch of cars with different performance tweaks, or if there's race car version, whatever, right? If they're going to bring in new supercars, massive bundles. Heck, I don't even mind paying for a racing DLC. I'm all down for that. I don't mind paying subscription fee, whatever, man. I'm sure a lot of people would agree with that. But if they were to really focus on content after Heists, you know, and not just completely scrap the game and wait for the next GTA, I am all down for that. The one thing I'm afraid of is that I think they've spent way too much time on Heist, that they've completely scrapped other ideas that the community have provided, which are absolutely awesome. Or on the other hand, they may have been working on that at the same time Heist as well. Because here's the thing, let's be realistic here. If someone like Rockstar can provide content like Heists, you know, for this game that is completely insane, you know, for multiplayer on this massive game, then I'm sure they can make any other content possible that we have requested as a community. So let's just hope, because that's the only thing we could do at the moment. And unfortunately, we can't seem to get the attention. But let's just say after Heist, maybe they might have a little bit of free time. Maybe, I don't know. You know, sometimes, here's the thing though, it's a little doubt, isn't it? When they bring out Heist, imagine the game completely breaks, you know, it just shuts down, the servers explode, and the game can't handle it. Oh, you never know. But hey, there's expectations, you know. Oh shit, you know, PS4, Xbox One should easily handle this. Look at these specs we have, fucking amazing. Oh yes. Oh no, it's all about the servers, people, man. The servers can barely handle 30 players, or people constantly disconnected. I'm curious to see if that will get fixed as well. The server stability will be focused on a little bit more as well, because that's important, man. Anyway, service is important, you know, people. Like, service is always the #1 thing, man. Anyway, what you're watching now, people, is a brand new track that I've created, right? This is part of a brand new playlist that I'm working on. This particular track is called the Black Mamba Circuit. There's links to all my tracks down below if you want to try it on the PS4, of course. For those of you that want it on the Xbox One, I'm thinking of getting the copy for Xbox One. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if it's worth it. I'm probably going to give it after Heist. When the Heist come out, I'm going to sort of play that and see how the game runs. If the game runs smoothly, you know, if everything goes fine and positive, I'll definitely be getting that for Xbox One as well as the PC. So right now I'm just hoping, like I said, I'm just, you know, making sure everything goes smooth, the game goes fine, and, you know, if it's worth, you know, spending more time on this game after Heist come out. So this is the reason why I'm going for a complete new playlist, by the way. It's because the Zoo King playlist that I made 7 months ago, which is sort of the first sort of competitive set of tracks that I created on the Content Creator, were all based on the same area, on this area that you're watching now, right? On Rockford, with 50 different variations. I created over 100 tracks in total. But with these 50 variations based on this area, you know, it came to the point where I was just sort of rerouting different routes with combinations given, and it just became a little bit boring because I wasn't really paying attention to the props that I was placing. It was more just based on different track routes for originality, but that came extremely boring and draining and exhausting because most of my tracks were extremely long, over 2 minutes long, average about 2 minutes 30 seconds per lap. And obviously during a playlist, which was called the Zoo King MLG playlist with 10 to 8 tracks, each track averaging about 15 minutes, it became extremely long. And, you know, people come back from work and trying those tracks out and having to pay attention to every single track and learning those tracks became extremely annoying. So what my purpose and intentions for the brand new playlist I'm working on right now, of course, given the restrictions that we play under, the rules given as well, that's obviously the design approach, but at the same time using the props more of an innovative way which sort of creates unique track routes due to the props. As you can see right here, perfect section of the chicane, which I feel like is an awesome part of the track, because you can be extremely ballsy and floor through that, or you can pay attention to your throttle and lose a bit of speed. It's up to you, but of course, number one priority in racing is to be consistent and not to make mistakes. Otherwise, you cause mistakes to other players. That's the understanding that a lot of players lack these days. You know, people always want to go quick and quick and quick, but yeah, going quick is one thing, but going quick consistently is another. So yeah, I'm just showing you different examples of this track, different areas that you can have nice battles with, and showing you that my design approach was simply keeping it short and simple, but it's not really simple because there's a lot of things you have to pay attention to because of the props and the designs given. So this is one of the tracks out of the 8 tracks I'm working on. I can't really complete 6 tracks in the playlist, but I've got 2 more to work on. 8 tracks is perfect for a playlist because, you know, you don't want to make it too long, otherwise it'll be over 4 hours. So this should be average about 2 hours spent on a night, you know, racing like this, and it should be extremely fun to see what sort of results you get at the end of the playlist. So here's the thing, I've learned a lot through Content Creator, through, you know, experimenting with tracks, trial and error basically, and learning from other people's approach to making tracks. There's so many good creators out there in this community that I'm going to be making a top 5 best custom competitive races out there from the community, from you guys. Of course, there's an email in the description you guys can send your tracks to, like you are currently, that I'm currently going through, which I'll be reviewing over the streams that I make, so make sure you guys tune into that. I'm currently streaming as we speak anyway, so I'll be selecting the best 5 tracks given the opinions of other creators, of course, and just base it off that. And you guys, like I said, can get involved in this by simply just submitting the RSG link provided by Social Club for the track given. Currently, like I said, only on the PS4, but I am gonna try and get the GTA version Xbox One and hopefully sort that out. But like I said, I'll be only doing that after Heist comes out though, because that's when I'll be making the choice of whether or not I'll be willing to play this game on multiple platforms or not. So yeah, definitely I'll be doing that. But my sort of approach to content creators changed quite a bit, because like I said, when people become sort of equally skilled with each other, with the pace and track knowledge and the consistency is there, I want to make sure that mistakes, you know, if you do make mistakes, is extreme consequences that you have to face. So if you take a really, you know, lazy line and go extremely wide and you hit a tire line, for instance, I want your car to stop, and I want you guys to know that you've made that stupid mistake, because with those mistakes I want people to become more aware, you know, be more on your toes, and this way less mistakes will eventually happen on the long run. It's sort of like a human experiment, isn't it? But it makes sense, because nowadays a lot of people, like I said, man, always want to go quick. But yeah, that's one thing, but going consistently quick is another, and that can be done on simple tracks. But on more restricted tracks, there's more things to pay attention to, so it's more of a skill gap. And with that being said, you know, to be able to do that in an actual racing environment, you have to be extremely careful, and that is where it becomes a little bit interesting. You know, people, because there is a little feeling, you know, in the back of your head, oh shit, it's tie lines, I don't want to hit that, because if I hit that, I'll completely stop and screw everyone else behind me. So with that notion, that's why the tie lines and tie stacks have been reintroduced. Yeah, a lot of people complain, oh, they cause AIDS, they cause, you know, horrible collisions, but that's the point of it, isn't it? You know, you want to make sure people learn through that way from facing those consequences. But hey, this is one of the tracks out of the 8. Currently 6 are complete, so I'll be still tweaking them with feedback and given from you guys in the comments as well once you've tried it. But yeah, of course, my whole intentions now have changed for GTA 5 Racing. I used to make simple tracks because I wanted to keep it smooth as possible. But now I want people to pay more attention to themselves and the people around them. Of course, making difficult tracks along with nice balance in the playlist as well, with short and long tracks together, so I don't waste people's time. And tracks are easier to learn, however, they're more difficult to push track limits. So with that being said, hopefully I've updated you guys with what's going on, and I'm streaming currently, so make sure you guys tune into that. And I'll see you guys next time. Check your son out in that piece. Yeah.
Fuck it, full speed.